Hello, Fear the Meerkat here. Welcome to another episode of my Let's Play of Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time Master Quest. So this gives you a clue as to what you have to do here, and you need to do it quickly as the sun is rising. If the sun gets too high, then it's going to be too late for you to shoot it with the arrows. But if you make it in time, then you get the fire arrows, and you can always wait there until the next day if you miss the deadline. Unfortunately, it doesn't really tell you when the deadline is. It just has to be in the morning, but there's no sort of 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, etc. counter for this game the same way there is in Majora's Mask. So need to be fast with that. And you can go up and read the clue by the way you normally get information from Navi. Basically, you Z target it and then you press the button for getting information. You may have noticed a couple of cuts there. Basically, I'm not sure if I should be telling you how I edited every single episode. I'm just going to point it out if it's something important, because you're probably not someone who makes YouTube videos, and those of you who do, you probably already have some idea about how editing works, and you already know by now what my reasons for editing are, and the way I tend to do it, what sort of stuff I tend to cut out, and what I tend not to cut out. So I'm going to give that a rest for a while. At this point, I would suggest that you start using these more often if you haven't already. It's just much easier to get around, especially considering the distance there is between this place and the Kakariko village, that end of Turnmouth. So as I say, we're up to episode 32 of the Ocarina of Time Master Quest, and today we're going to be questing. Not sure there's such a word as questing. Never mind. We're going to be questing for some items and things like that. See, like, I cut out some of the travelling there, just for the usual reasons I do. There is, when you get the fire arrows, you can go back into the water temple, and there is a gold sculpture you can get, but I'm not going to show that. If it's something you wanted to know, then there are guides online, or you can watch someone else's video, and I'm sorry if that's inconvenient for you, but I can't be bothered going back into the water temple, basically. I'm sick of the water temple. I'm done with it. I wash my hands with it, so to speak. I don't know why I called for Epona here. You don't really need to call for Epona, so I guess I thought I'd be travelling further than I actually did. Off screen as well, I haven't gone back to the ice cavern yet. I'm not sure I still can, but it doesn't matter. There are plenty of gold sculptures still to go, and as I say, I'm only going to get 50 of them. Now, I've decided not to get every heart piece or every bottle or anything like that. In fact, I've never gotten to 100% on this game. I just haven't got that far. It's never really seemed worth it. I've managed to do all of the side quests, but not get all of the sculptures and not get all of the hearts. That's as far as I've gone. I'm not sure what Link thought he could do against this thing, and it sort of seems to be it kind of reminds me of oil on water. It seems to be just sort of a multicolored liquid. As I think I've mentioned before, rain is a great portent of doom. Seems to fit well with the bottom of the well, and eventually the Shadow Temple, though we're not going to get there quite yet. I'm not intending to do the Shadow Temple next. I'm intending to do the Spirit Temple next. Now, I still need to make absolute sure that you don't need the item from the Shadow Temple in order to do the Spirit Temple. I certainly know that you can get halfway through the Spirit Temple and do the child section without having the item. The reason for this is I don't want to do the Shadow Temple immediately after bottom of the well because they're very similar to each other. Oh, by the way, again, I'm having to switch sound levels between my Star Trek Let's Play and this Let's Play, so hopefully the levels are right here, but if they're not, then they're not, I suppose. I always felt it should be called the Requiem of Shadow, just to sort of fit in with the Spirit Temple, which is said to be the place of the dead, and Requiem is a funeral song. I don't know much about a nocturne. I think it's a nighttime song, but which I suppose is also sort of appropriate, but yeah, I just thought it would be better as a Requiem. Oh well. Maybe there were some musical rules about what a Requiem should be, which this song doesn't obey. Now, if you're playing along with this and you haven't gotten the oh, I can't believe I've gone the Song of Storms yet. I don't think this sequence happens. I think you need to have the Song of Storms at this point to trigger it. So it's best to go and get that at this point if you haven't gotten it yet. Now, you might remember that last time we faced Dampé, the Gravedigger, in his race. He said, come back if you want to race me again, and so that's what we're going to do. Fortunately, the poe's looking in the wrong direction. I'm not sure how many days it's been since my last Let's Play. Basically, I had a 3-day holiday in London, which was very nice, but that's obviously been delayed this by 3 days. So if it's a little later than normal, that's why. But I just don't know for sure. I like the fact that Dampé has a halo. I think that's cool. Best to avoid the fire, same as before. You can wall if you want, although that makes it harder. It's best not to roll unless you're really far behind. It doesn't really matter if you roll or run unless you get significantly far behind, because it's still going to be about 55 seconds by the time you get to that big staircase that you had to roll up last time. Now, the idea of doing it now is using the long shot, but as you'll be able to see in a minute, and I'm telling you now because don't think I really have time to fully explain it otherwise. In theory, you can use a long shot, but whenever I've tried to use it, I haven't been able to grab the thing that it needs to grab, if you see what I mean. Use the long shot to grab hold of a torch in the way it did in the Fire Temple and a couple of other places. But with the controls for the emulator, not using a joystick controller of any kind, it's extremely hard to get it to reach the right place, as you'll be able to see now, and that just wastes time, and you need to do this in under a minute in order to get the prize he'll give you this time. So it might be possible to do it if you've got a controller plugged in, but I'm not going to bother to try and show that off, so I just decided to roll up here. You will not be able to get there in under a minute by rolling, I can pretty much guarantee that. And it might be possible to do it if you're using an N64, but otherwise apparently you can't get it in the right place. See, that sudden quick cut there means that I wouldn't have had time to explain this to you, so that's why I'm explaining it now. Anyway, talking quite quickly as usual, if you had the managed to do it in under a minute, then you would have gotten a heart piece. But I'm not going to bother to get that heart piece. As far as I know, as long as you stand where I just stood and use the long shot, not the hook shot, that's the only way to reach him. It might be possible to jump from the tower in some clever way with a backflip or something, I'm not sure, but it's much easier to just wait. You've got plenty of heart pieces at this point, and you will be getting 2 more heart containers at the very least, because there are still 2 temples to go. So you need to do it from the right place, which hopefully you got a look at, because I've now forgotten where it is. Just, if you can't find it, just wander around the village and see if you can locate it. It always seemed to me a little disrespectful somehow to roll through the Temple of Time, but it does make things easier. I'm not sure why I should be giving the Temple of Time this level of respect. Maybe because it looks like a church, I don't know. And the bottom of the well is the first time you'll be going through a mini dungeon just as a kid, and the first time you'll be as a kid for a substantial amount of time during the game. I just thought I'd show off how peaceful this is, now that we've been used to zombies, Gibdos. I think they're Gibdos anyway. See, look at all of these people. It's been a long time since last walked through the market with people actually there. I don't know if people get turned into Gibdos by Gibdos biting them or whatever. I suppose it's possible. All of those people are just the Gibdos that were there. If they're not Gibdos, just tell me in the comment section. You know, whatever. Just need to avoid the guards here like you did last time. Just don't get too close to them, especially if they're looking in your direction. See, this is what getting too close to them looks like. Been a while since we heard this music as well. I wonder if you'd find Princess Zelda if you went all the way through the castle. Probably not though, because I mean, it's possible that I suppose that Link could go and warn her that she's about to get captured by Ganondorf. But if he did that, then maybe she wouldn't end up giving him the Ocarina of Time when she did. And if she didn't end up doing that, then there'd be no way he could travel back in time to this particular point in time. So that would be a paradox, and that wouldn't work. Yeah, she wouldn't be there. This hasn't gone back to the beginning of the game. It's gone back to just before she got captured by Ganondorf. I think that's it. Anyway, it's never really sort of explained fully exactly what point of time it is when it goes back to him as a kid. It's obviously at least 24 hours later because as you can see it's gotten dark outside, so this is a very creepy room due to the noise. Hidden behind every single one of these are sculptures. Unfortunately, they're not all gold ones. I'm just getting that picture. There's no point in destroying any of the other walls, you're just wasting time. And it's surprisingly easy to forget how to use the boomerang. When you haven't used it for a while, but yep, 4 more of these to go, and then we get the rather disappointing next thing we get for breaking the curse. It's not that great, but I might as well show it off. I probably paused here because I'm writing this down. It's very difficult tune to remember this. And behind you is the entrance to the Shadow Temple, although we will not be going through there yet. This is a good shortcut to the graveyard, at least. And it's also the only way to reach the Shadow Temple entrance. Can't climb up there, you can't hookshot up there. There's just nothing you can do, so. But that's it for side quests for now, unless you count mini dungeons as side quests. I don't know why this makes him so happy. I suppose he's trying to make his tune match the pace of the windmill, and so that's why he gets annoyed when the windmill starts going quickly. Now, here's my question. How... In just a second, you'll be able to see what it does. Come on. I have a point I want to make here. How does water falling from the sky, rain basically, make the water drain out of the well? Surely the water should be going higher. Yes? The water level should be increasing. Anyway, now we see the completion of the predestination paradox that I talked about earlier. Link taught the song to him, and the song was taught to Link by him. So I suppose at some point Link must have gone back in time and set up this endless sequence of Link teaching him and him teaching Link. But there would be an initial time when Link went back in time and was the first person to teach it, although he also learnt it from the past and hearing it in the past. So I guess I'd have to say time travel is complicated and leave it at that. You need to be very careful at the bottom of the well because there are invisible holes in it that you won't see until you get the lens of truth, which you get at the end. Would have been useful to get it at the beginning of the bottom of the well, but no, you get it at the end. I suppose it's quite hard to take the Gibdos seriously since they appear to hump you to death. They're supposed to be scary, but that kind of ruins the effect. I tend to think. They do look scary, and they do sound scary, but they're also quite annoying. And where did it keep that magic power? You know, it doesn't appear to have any pockets, does it? So, I'll be talking about this dungeon more in the next episode, but this is a really atmospheric dungeon, particularly with the music, so I'll just let you enjoy the music for a little while. A quick word about these. Some of them clearly have a cut in them, a tear, and those ones you can destroy, but the ones without tear can't. So just look at what they look like. And just watch carefully where I go if you're playing along with this to make sure you don't fall in an invisible hole. promise you I will be talking more about this dungeon in the next episode. Now, why does the camera do this? It's blocking my ability to see this thing that kills me. And why does the Skulltulat's body disappear into the floor? As much as I love this game, there are some bits that are just quite poorly put together, to be honest. Not that often, but there are times when you can see through the floor, and there are times when the camera's a bit annoying. And we're actually coming up on the end of this episode, so I'll just say goodbye, and yes, I will see you next time.